Hey guys, it's Natalia and welcome to another Fashion Design 101 episode. So today is going to be a very quick video just on how to thread your serger. I get so many questions about it because I know sergers can be kind of difficult, low-key, and very scary to use. So I'm going to show you guys how to thread a serger because I literally just got a new one and I need to thread it anyway. So I figured this would be a really good opportunity since it's already like perfectly clean and nice looking right now. So I'm going to show you guys how to thread it. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. When I first got that same serger, like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I got it my senior year of high school, I think, maybe my junior year, but I threaded it wrong and I had it wrong for 3 freaking years until I finally realized why it was never working right. I thought it was just because it wasn't that great of a serger or whatever and that it was just like kind of loose, but I realized I just didn't have it properly threaded and that was the sole reason why I didn't know how to use it for 3 freaking years. So I want to show you guys how to properly thread it because I know that a lot of the threading videos out there are kind of boring and hard to watch, so hopefully this is a little bit more exciting to watch. I don't know how exciting threading a serger can be, but I'm gonna do my best. So let's get into it. So this is the serger that we're going to be threading today. It is the Singer Pro Finish. I really love this serger a lot. It is the one I've been using for years. I totally recommend it, and I got a new one because my other one needs servicing and I just haven't found a place to get it serviced yet. So I got a new one and I'm gonna be threading it for you guys today. I literally just got it out of the box a couple days ago and plopped it on here, but I've not touched it since. It still has all of the like colorful threads that come with it, so we're gonna take those off and we're going to just rethread it fully. So before we start, these are some things you're gonna need. You're gonna need 4 spools of thread of whatever color you're gonna use. I'm gonna use black so you guys can see it better. You're gonna need some little scissors, and possibly the most important part, you're gonna need a pair of tweezers of some sort to really get in there. So first things first, you're gonna put all of your threads up here on the little stands, and you're gonna bring them from the back forward into their little loops. So now we're gonna go ahead and open up the serger here. As you can see, it has an actual guide on how to thread it, which is really, really nice. Most machines, I'd say, have some sort of color guide that tells you like which one you should thread first, where to thread it through roughly, and if not, then it'll say it in its instruction manuals, but I'm gonna show you guys how to thread this one specifically. My machine specifically tells me to start with this one, so this is the one we're gonna start with. We're gonna take this second thread, and you're gonna put it in through the little loop in the back and bring it forward. So this next part is the part I messed up for years that I never got correctly, and this is what it is. You need to make sure the thread locks into place, into the tension, and you can kind of feel it lock right there. My mistake was putting it kind of further in on the outside of the plate rather than in between the 2 plates. So make sure that it gets in there. You'll be able to feel it, and if you pull it out, you'll hear it too. So make sure it's right in between the 2 tension plates. Down here, you want to make sure it's inside the little loop over here and then bring it down. So now we're going to focus on threading it down here, which is probably the most difficult part. So following the little red dots, which is the color for this specific thread, I'm going to put it through this little loop first down here. Then I'm going to put it inside this one like that. Then it comes up to this one, and then it has to go through this little hole up here. This would be a good time to use your tweezers. Make sure the top of your thread is nice and clean, so I like to just like cut it right before I'm going to thread it through so it threads nicely. Then I'm gonna take this and place it into the little hole and then pull it backwards over here. And there's our first thread. Now we move on to the second one, which is this one right here. So I'm gonna take this and we're gonna put it through this little loop again back here and bring it forward. Again, make sure that it goes into the tension plate correctly and then bring it down. Down here, make sure it is hooked into this down here and then bring it down again. This one is possibly the hardest one to thread just because it's a little bit more difficult to get it into this little loop back here, but we're gonna be following the guides. So we're gonna put it through this one first, then put it through this bottom one, then hook it into the next one. And then I'm gonna bring you guys a little bit closer to do this part. So here you're gonna wanna bring it behind this, bring it back like that. And then you have to bring it back here. There's a little hook back here that it has to hook into, which sometimes takes a few tries to get. So now that it's hooked back there, it's hard to show you guys because it's literally behind this machine, but if you have it in person, you'll see it. It's just a little tiny hook back here. So now that it's hooked on there, you can actually thread it through the hole up here. So again, I like to cut my thread just to make sure that it is like nice and crisp for it to go in better. Then you take your tweezers and work it in there. It's a little bit difficult because it has a little part behind it. So you have to like really use the tweezers to get it through. And then once you get it through, bring it to the back, just like that. This is the next one on our list. So we're going to take the thread, hook it back here, bring it forward. Again, make sure it goes into the tension properly and then bring it down again. This one's gonna hook onto here, and then you're gonna bring it into this one and up to the top one and then down. So this one goes to the right needle. So the first thing we're gonna do is going to put it through this little looper thing up here. Make sure that hooks into place correctly, and then you're just gonna thread it through your needle. Again, it's easiest to use the tweezers because it's just a very small space we're working with. And now for the very last one, again, hook it into here, bring it down. Make sure it hooks into the tension properly. This one's gonna hook down here and then up into this second one and then down. And just like the other one, we're gonna loop it into this little loop here and then thread it into our needle. And then bring it back. So now you want to make sure that all of your threads are long enough and that they are pulled back here. And we're going to take a test piece of fabric, bring the presser foot down, lift this up into it, and sew and see how it works. And you always want to leave a tail at the very end of your serger. You cannot cut it straight up because then it's going to unthread itself. So you always want to make sure the thread is long enough at the very end. So you can just continue to sew down there and it'll work out just fine. And here we have our finished serged edge. This is what it looks like on both sides. It should look nice. It shouldn't be loose. It should be nice and firm. But obviously for different fabrics, you need different tensions. So do mess around with this a little bit if need be, but not too much. Definitely do your research on different fabrics and different tensions. But this is what the general serging looks like. So let's talk about switching the color, because obviously you're not going to want to use black for everything. What if you're sewing something white? So let's switch out our serger thread without actually rethreading the whole machine. You're going to want to cut all of your threads down here. Make sure that they are long enough for you to be able to tie a knot into the next one. So we're going to take these off and we're going to put all of our new threads on here. So what you're going to want to do is tie the ends of the black thread, or the thread you currently have, onto the end of the next thread you want to do. Once you have them all tied up, you want to open this up just to make sure that we can see that they're all guiding in there correctly. And then we're gonna take the tail of what's left on here and gently start to pull on it, and it'll start to bring all of the threads down. I find that the 2-needle ones obviously get a little bit stuck once the knot comes into place, because the hole of the needle is really small, so the knot doesn't always go through. So sometimes you do have to manually do those, but those are the simplest ones to do. Sometimes if you do pull it hard enough, it will go through, so just test it out, but obviously don't pull so hard that you end up breaking the needle or anything. So now you can see that it is fully threaded in white. You want to obviously make sure to like follow all the lines and make sure everything is properly there, but now you should be able to serge normally with your new thread. Sometimes the threads will get like stuck under, but it's still serging properly. They're just kind of like stuck, so you do have to like pull them out to make sure they're good. And like always, leave a trail at the end. And there you have your white serged edge. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and comment down below what other sewing things you want to learn in this series. I'm doing literally a whole series on just like fashion design, on sewing, pattern making, draping, anything like that. Please let me know down below, comment it. I will definitely get to it. And of course, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you want to learn more about sewing and fashion design and business and just anything that I do, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my next videos. And that is it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!